Hey everybody, it's Suki from KDUP. We are live from Rock The Bluff 2025 at beautiful Crystal Ballroom, and we're here with Verb8im. Luckily, I was just introduced to all of them, but how about for the camera? Please introduce yourself and maybe tell us what you play in the band.
My name is Lucas Vega, and I am vocals and rhythm guitar for the band.
My name's Will Martin, and I play lead guitar for Verb8im.
My name is Tripp Repp, and I am the drummer of Verb8im.
My name is Aidan Wright, and I play bass.
All right, wonderful. I'm a little curious how you guys met and how the band kind of formed together.
This is a good story. I can tell the part about me and Aidan meeting. Me and Aidan went to the same high school together, and so we started getting involved in music. It was a while ago. It was like
15.
Yeah, it was like sophomore year of high school. We started playing music together, and it was very just like back and forth, me and him. Then we ended up getting a band together just with some other kids, and that was super fun. But it eventually kind of like fizzled out, and then we got into another band called Wasted Saturday, and that was kind of our moment of like, oh, like we should keep doing this and we should keep progressing. And we both came to Eugene, and whoever wants to tell that story.
Feel free to jump in and use your voice.
Yeah, so me and Lucas come down to Eugene. It was just pretty known that we wanted to do music. We had so much fun in high school, and it really peaked like our little high school band. I don't want to say little. It was awesome. But got really awesome right towards the end of our senior year, so right before we were about to graduate. And we were so like high on like the adrenaline rush of playing live. So we came down and we were like, let's do it. And I looked at him and I was like, whatever we don't find, I'll play. We'll make it work. Let's do it. So I ended up rushing Greek life, and Tripp ended up being in my pledge class. And I heard through some of the older guys that he played drums. It was a really awkward conversation of me walking up to him being like, hey, like, I heard you play drums.
Literally exactly what he said. I don't want to be that guy that says verbatim every time that he copies it.
But I said that verbatim, whatever that means. But went up to him and he sat behind a kit, and I was like, wow, he just humbled me and everything I've ever done in 10 years of playing the drums. So I was like, for sure, you can do it. And I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but when you're in like the big lecture halls, you kind of sit in like the same seat throughout the term, and it's just like habit. Mm-hmm. And my same seat happened to be next to his same seat.
And I saw him looking at guitars one day, and I was like, oh, do you play guitar? And he was like, yeah, I play bass, mainly bass and drums. And I was like, oh, sweet, like I also play guitar. And he's like, oh, I'm starting a band, like what, like send me videos of you playing. And so I sent him a clip of me playing Sick Love by the Red Hot Chili Peppers in 10th grade, like with my band from high school. And he was like, yeah. And so then we met and practiced, and it was just history from there.
That's your favorite
Chili Peppers. That is my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Beautiful. For someone who had never heard of Verb8im, how would you describe? Oh, I'll hold this. For someone who had never heard of Verb8im, how would you describe the band? For someone to try to introduce them.
A lot of things. It is a wide variety of, I would even say, different genres of music. Okay. We can go from playing like pretty calm, more relaxed things to really amping it up and like getting more into the punk side of things. For me personally, I try to go for like the I don't even know what you'd call it, like kind of like the skate punk, like Australian punk music. But everyone else has their own stuff.
And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, my dad is totally like, my dad and my sister, they love like that heavy metal, like Dream Theater. And we saw them just as a family the other day when they came to Portland. But I really feel like seeing Verb8im is more than just like a show, and it's kind of an experience. Because if you haven't heard us before, you don't really know what's going to happen. And I think that's just due to our ability to kind of think of something on the fly and come up with change. I mean, this is a little different because it's like, all right, we're rehearsing. We know exactly what's going to happen next. But it's still one of those things where it's like, we just love the energy of like waiting and building up and then creating these huge moments and dynamics and energy and just playing to the people from our hearts. For real. That's beautiful.
People always ask, it's like a weird question to say because we're so different in so many ways. And I always answer with just saying like, oh, we play energy. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, well, like we do a lot of everything, but it's always kind of at 110%. So even if we're playing like some sappy love song, it doesn't look like we're playing a sappy love song, and I think that's what makes it pretty fun.
Excellent. I'm excited to see it for the first time. The question that I couldn't think of earlier was, I know that you guys are typically used to playing like kind of house parties and stuff like that, kind of the shows that we put on at KDUP. How does it feel to be playing at one of my favorite venues in the city, and also opening up for Still Woozy in a couple months?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. Coming here to Oregon in general, I didn't really know much about like the music scene here, and like I heard about from these two, I heard about like, oh, the Crystal Ballroom, like this would be so cool if we played here, and so I was kind of like, oh yeah, okay, until like we actually got the thing, and I was like, oh my god, like we're playing at the Crystal Ballroom, and I couldn't believe it, and I'm still like in shock a little bit.
Now you're
But,
here.
Yeah, I know.
You're inside of it.
Insane. It's
Full
insane.
circle.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
New York City.
Oh, really?
Coolest moment ever. One of the first times me and Lucas hung out when we were like 15, we came and saw the Dandy Warhols, a super awesome Portland band, play at the Crystal Ballroom.
Okay.
So it's pretty crazy to like be here playing this stuff after.
Surely so
Yeah, the
full
Chats.
circle.
And the Chats, shout out the Chats. But the Dandy Warhols Portland band at the Crystal Ballroom was just an awesome thing. And now I get to play where they stood.
And I mean, to be here in less than 2 years of being a band, I mean, I
That's
think
incredible.
it was exactly almost 1 year ago that we sat down and we're like, all right, where do we want to take this band? And we're like, the Crystal Ballroom would be a pretty cool place to start. And I mean, 1 calendar year later, it's like we're here. It's like, well, we still have a year and a half left together directly as students. Like, what can we make happen now?
It's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Did you have another comment?
No.
I just give it to him.
You're good. You're good.
the mic.
I got you. He's the vocalist. What would you say your favorite song is to perform if you have one? Or is this
Drag.
kind of
It's drag.
drag?
Yeah, I'm going drag.
Oh, that's a
Also,
common pick?
Colorblind's super cool. I love playing Colorblind. We have a bunch of new songs that we're working on that I love playing them also, but I think my number one is going to be drag.
Mine is Colorblind for sure. The energy and the dynamics that it has, it goes from like putting you in a trance to like rocking your socks off, and I love playing that. Yeah.
Well said.
I think my favorite song to play is Hungover, especially now that I've upgraded my kit to 1 extra floor tom, but it makes the song so much more fun to play because it's so groove oriented on the toms, and now I can really dance around with the melody in there and kind of just, I feel like an octopus at times, honestly.
I got you.
Honestly, I really do, and it's so fun. It's so fun to play for me.
It's a great feeling to have.
I said it earlier, but it's got to be drag.
Yeah, why so? For those that said it.
There's something about it, like you just it's simple, but not, and it's a consistent level of. It starts with just a guitar, and there's a count, and it drops, and then for the rest of the song, we're all just at like 112% volume, whatever you want to call it. And every time we play it, it's just like, I think, personally, that's when I get the most riled up. And so
Okay.
I think it's a really awesome one to get going with.
What do you think a fan favorite is?
Colorblind.
Oh, dude, think of me,
It's
bro.
gotta be Think of Me. Yeah.
Statistically speaking.
I'm seeing-
Statistically speaking.
We have a song that we dropped. Our first song we ever dropped is a song called "Think of Me." Yeah, it's probably our most streamed song, and that one is not as high energy until like the very very end, and it's a longer song. But every time we play that chorus, at least in Eugene, it's recognized.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there might be a couple things, but if there's anything that you could change about the music industry, what would you say that would be? You can answer honestly. He's got you.
Yeah, you go first.
Just equal representation for artists. It's such a crazy thing to be able to see so many people trying in the music scene and to see so many people succeed but have it really reap no benefits.
Mhm.
And it's such an interesting dynamic nowadays where it's a very do-it-yourself, and a lot of big supporting companies will be supportive of that, especially, I mean, record labels, they're looking for the people that are already doing it themselves, and then to be able to support that from there, in less of the sense where maybe in the 70s, 80s, it was more of like, we'll help you do it yourselves, rather than we want to see that foundation first. But I do also think that kind of is able to spark and weed out the people who are really willing to put in that extra effort to make themselves stand out, and the people who are like, this is casual, I'm just happy to be here. But that fine line is definitely something that needs to be clarified, I think, moving forward.
I think. Oh. Well, I was gonna.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I'm just gonna get a quick one. Less auto tune, more overdrive.
Okay, straight to the point.
I think that there's definitely an air of like making the wrong people popular, especially thanks to social media, and that may be controversial. I don't know, but I think that there are people who do not. They don't represent music in the sense that people who really want it and who really deserve it do, and who actually push themselves. And so I feel like due to social media and due to like money and greed and power, they want the thing that makes the most clicks. They don't want the thing that is actually pure and for the artist and for the musician.
Yeah, great answer. I completely agree. Very thorough answers all around. I'm sure there's probably not some like cut and dry formula to it, but how would you describe your guys' creative process?
It really just varies. It's all around the place. Sometimes, like I'll come up with a chord progression, then put lyrics over it, and then we just start adding. Like you put bass, you put a lead line, you put a solo, we have drums, or it's honestly very random, but it is and especially this last like several months, it's been hard for us to get music going and get it out.
How so?
It's just we've been put on kind of like a hiatus due to like it's just yeah it's honestly weather. Winter term like really sucks playing shows and trying to get
Thanks, Oregon.
yeah. But yeah, so we've just been trying to get it all out, and I don't know, it's a huge process that can be complicated, but it can also be very simple.
Okay.
And I was thinking about these songs, and we just did 3 days in the studio and got 8 songs completed, which feels really good. But something that I was thinking about is that we haven't played any of these songs live. Whereas our last EP, Ask Again Later, we knew how these songs would react publicly at shows. And we were like, all right, like these are going to be awesome. We're going to track them. It's going to do, people are going to love it because it's the same energy. And we try to bring that intensity. But we just don't really know what's going to happen. And I really think that this next album is more representative of what we're capable of as musicians and what we want to have our music represent sonically and lyrically.
Yeah.
How do you try to like strike a balance between building on what you know is work, but also still trying to like evolve or like change things up?
Our personal influences. I think that's.
I was gonna say, like, I think why people come to see Verb8im is the energy. So I like to think of this, what we just recorded, as just a more matured version of us, and it's more complex and it's more experimental and there's a lot more going on. But at the end of the day, like every single track brings some sort of energy. So no matter what we record, it could be jazz, but it might be the most rock and jazz you ever heard. So that kind of energy moving forward is, I think, what we all kind of strive for.
I also like to think that listening to the album, you can kind of tell who wrote the song. I think that's a fun part about it.
And I think that with this album especially, since we did it without playing any of the songs live, we did it for ourselves. We didn't do it for the audience.
We didn't pick and choose.
We sat down and we were like, these are the songs that we want to do because we like them, and we're not, if the audience doesn't like them, that's their opinion, but we're just going to do the 100% best thing we can do to get an album that we really love, and that's what we did. So
that is super real. Going off something that you said, who would you say are your guys' biggest influences on the band, whether that's historical or like maybe even more recent artists that you've been obsessed with?
That's a one by one.
Yeah, you can, pass the mic around, please.
This is my personal. I would say number 1, I would say the Chats. Number 2, the Strokes, and number 3, Skeggs. Those would be my 3.
Number 1 for me, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Number 2, Radiohead, and number 3, the Strokes.
Love it.
Number 1's got to be the Foo Fighters. Number 2, Dave Matthews Band, and Honestly, my number 3 has been Saint Vincent. She's awesome.
I'd say like my number 1 songwriting band has got to be Sublime.
Mm-hmm.
There's awesome. Number 2, probably Operation Ivy, some more punk stuff. And then number 3, let's do the Samples.
Okay.
Samples.
Love the Strokes representation. That was kind of the vibe that I got for some reason. Do you guys have any other hobbies that you think contribute to like your creative process?
I like to cook a lot, and I feel like that's a creative outlet for me, other than music.
I feel like there's a metaphor there.
What does that mean?
He can cook in the kitchen. He could cook on the guitar.
Oh. I mean, honestly, other than drums, most of the time we're students, and so I feel like there's an escape in our music where we'll go and we'll spend so many hours being in class, doing homework, and studying on things, and it's like when we come to music, there's our expression of that, the music being our hobby, aside from the main bulk of our physical activity of what we're, there really in Eugene to do in the first place. How can we make the music representative of our true emotions?
Yeah, I don't know if this is really a hobby, but something I think really contributes to the music is just us being like the bestest of friends. Like these are like the 3 closest people that I have, like in Eugene, being away from home, and so it's like everything we do together, we kind of all. It's all
That's awesome.
the 3 of us live together. He was my roommate last year. We all do together. So if it's going outside and sitting by the river all day and we're sitting there just
That's a vibe.
chopping it up, or if we're studying together, or if we're like everything, one of us is with another one. And so I think that just we're always on the same page with a lot of stuff. So it definitely helps that creative process and helps us be a band more than just a couple guys playing music together.
That's awesome.
I second Aidan's statement, but I also think for me, being outdoors, I love snowboarding. I love being in the mountains. I love surfing. Like anything outdoors, I love it, and I think that does contribute a lot to my, at least my like lyric writing process. I think that's a big thing for me.
I'm kind of curious what you like to cook.
My main signature dish is risotto.
Ooh.
It is so
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
risotto. I like. I love salmon. Let's see, pasta. And I'm a little bit Italian, so I like to
Just a
take
little
from
bit.
that background. And just anything, steak, anything, breakfast. Oh, I love breakfast.
Big
Love a
breakfast,
good
actually.
breakfast.
Somebody's cooking breakfast.
Yeah,
Most important meal of the day.
yeah, like a little. It's controversial, but I like barbecue sauce on eggs.
That's wild,
Gross.
actually. Will
Think
you
about
know,
it.
So
Think about
actually
it.
changes how I think about
Think
you
about
for the next
it.
5 minutes.
Not
Hey guys,
just
we need some chemistry on stage, please.
No,
Okay, get it
no,
together.
no, I'm thinking about
You
the
guys were just
barbecue
raving
sauce.
about how much of big friends you are.
I'll come around.
it's
come
not
around.
just on the egg.
That's up for the viewers to decide. Try it at home. See, test it out.
With everything, bacon, hash browns,
Oh.
eggs, barbecue sauce.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry.
Is there a song that you guys have written that you would say, for whatever reason, was like difficult to write?
Dude, this whole last album,
Okay.
the whole album we just recorded was very difficult to write.
Lyrically.
Lyrically, yeah,
Lyrically?
yeah.
And I mean, that's one of the things is, you can be as good of a musician as you want to be, but how good are you at putting pen to paper and actually having something to say about what you've just created? So, that's kind of, we dug ourselves into a hole, but when it got to crunch time, we were able to kind of snap into it and really get into a flow of having a lot of fun and realizing, I mean, it's what we're saying is exactly what we want to say, and it doesn't need to be as hard as we're making it.
Okay. Is there a song that you kind of had difficulty writing that the fan response was like really kind of on the opposite end, and you were a little bit maybe surprised about how well received it was?
I would say, personally, like for me, the one that I didn't think was going to do so well and really has shined is Bedroom Ballad.
I agree.
It's true. I agree.
It was like our first like super experimental, like 6/8 kind of not. I don't know. I don't want to say straightforward.
I will take the blame for that as well.
But-
Will and I sat on the floor of
Yeah.
Aidan in my room last year, and we were like, let's write some weird songs, man. Let's do something crazy.
But that was probably like, it was the scariest because it was so different. But once we saw that reception of, oh, we can kind of push outside of what we're comfortable with, and it can be received well. I think that's spoken a lot into what we just did.
Do you think you can pinpoint like one song or maybe like a point in time where you really felt like the band was getting like cohesion and really finding its footing?
I think it was from the start.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think our chemistry from the start was insane. I mean,
practice.
yeah, first practice, it was like there wasn't even any like awkward feelings. It wasn't like oh, who is this dude? Like, why? Like, is he good? Is he not? It was like instant mesh. We just went with it, and it's gotten better every day, like since.
We're great friends.
I remember pulling the strings and getting because obviously I found these two guys and I was with Lucas the whole time.
Going shopping.
And I remember but I remember the first practice and being like, all right, like I found these guys, and obviously I have like my best buddy from high school, and I'm like hope, that it just rolls over smoothly. And as soon as like we kind of sat down together, it was like wasn't even. I don't want to get corny with it, but it wasn't even a thought. Like it was just like,
Be corny.
yeah, it was just like a sense of like, yeah, this will play.
And I think the first song that we played together was Time Bomb. And because Aidan and Lucas, Time Bomb is one of those songs where it's like, yo, we've had this song for years. And I mean, this is really just has so much, a personal and emotional value to it. And we want to bring this down to you guys and see what you think. And I think we were able to really click on that and the structure and the feel that we've been able to create to it. And I mean, it's one of those songs that we play live and we just love how it feels, and it gets us warm and it gets us loose. It really sets the tone for the rest of the show. But that's kind of our homing factor. Time Bomb, definitely.
Are there any artists or like maybe albums that came out more recently that you've been really inspired by?
St. Vincent's most recent album. I've pulled so much inspiration even just thinking about that with the artists that she played with and the structure of the songs, lyrically, melodically, everything.
I think for me, most recently, like as a change, it would be Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
That's like a huge, recently.
I don't know if this is like a super big influence, but I've just been really into Biba Doobie recently. It's kind of just awesome all the time. Like on my bike ride to class, just like, I don't know, she's just got a lot to say and I love it.
Very true. You
so-
said very good bike rides, huh? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
This is not recent at all, but I just got OK Computer by Radiohead on vinyl,
Ooh.
and I listened to it, and it was just like, life. Like I'd heard the album before, but it was just like
On vinyl.
The vinyl experience,
It
yeah.
was also like a special edition. Like it was like the very first press release.
Oh, really?
Like, the very
You don't-
first, like
You don't have
before.
to expose it if you don't want to, but can I ask
Don't come to our
can I
house.
ask you how much it ran you?
It was a gift.
Oh, then never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw the receipt.
Oh,
I know how much it was, but it was a gift. And I'm not
Okay,
gonna
I got
reveal
you.
that.
I was record shopping with my friend not too long ago. I was actually filming a music video at the time. My bought a $500 copy of a special edition OK Computer, and I was like, "Hey,
Oh my god.
I'm not your mom. I'm not
But
gonna
it's
tell you."
Radiohead.
It's it's okay.
Radiohead.
You're gonna listen to it, and
Yeah.
you're gonna put it on your wall, and it's worth it. But like, don't let it warp. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
no.
in the long run.
But
You know?
that album, especially the song "Paranoid Android,"
Mm.
was very influential for me. Just because it's, I can't even describe it.
My final question. I'm
okay.
just. Oh, you
Yeah,
favorite color.
favorite color? Oh yeah, my bad.
Rustic Orange.
Ooh, very. That's a great pull.
Kind of like this one.
Kind of like the one. On
Okay, actually, I mess with that. You're
Everyone wants to talk.
He didn't even have to defend it, and all of a sudden we just all jumped.
Yes, group leader, sir.
That's the vocalist. He's using his voice for
Think
change.
independently, I swear.
I can tell. I guess my final question. I'm just a little bit curious about like the fit coordination. I noticed you guys both got ties.
Well,
What does your
we-
shirt
it was
say?
gonna be something
I do like this shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is one of my close friends actually made this. He's a art student at Oregon. He just graduated last year, and he just made this. I love wearing it. It shows it's simple, and it has a message, and I still don't know what that message is. But man, your work sounds stressful. Nah, I love my job.
24.
24.
Naturally.
That's natural.
We were actually talking about this yesterday, like if we wanted to coordinate outfits, and I think that it's not us to do that. I mean, maybe in certain circumstances, like for like a music video or something, but
Mhm.
I think that we all have our own individual unique styles, and so for us to just be able to represent that is the truest version of ourselves that we can be.
Yeah, I don't know. I was pretty set on wearing shorts that are a little too small. So I
Fair
Dialed
enough.
on that from the beginning.
that was my
That was
first.
once you're set on that, it's hard to be straight from that
yeah.
path.
Also,
Yeah.
my fit coincidentally like kind of matches.
Well, that's
Oh,
nice.
it does,
His
yeah.
shirt is a face, believe it or not.
Is it
I
really?
didn't recognize that until he pointed
Oh,
it out
yeah.
like a month and a half ago.
All right. Well, we've reached the end of the interview. So the reason we call this Rock the Bluff is we live on the bluff at University of Portland. Obviously not there right now, but we may not be on the bluff. But I have one more question. Pass it around, please. Are you guys gonna rock it tonight?
Oh, we're gonna rock it. Yeah, I have no doubt about that.
Good answer.
We're about to rock the bluff.
Great answer.
I mean, Will said it like I'm wearing socks, but at the end of the set, I might not be. You know, we might
Weird
rock
answer.
The socks off. We might rock the socks off.
All right. Confusing answer. All right.
This is what we do best.
Oh, incredible answer. All right. Well,
you, guys.
viewers, this has been Verb8im. I'm Suki from KDUP. We are about to rock the bluff. I don't know really what else to say. I guess if you're viewing this, you probably missed it, which is unfortunate because you just missed history. It's a shame.
Minutes.
Signing off.
15 minutes.
Thank you, everybody. What's your guys' favorite color?
Dude, green, bro. I don't know what it is. I used to just not be a fan of the color green. I used to think it was blue because I look up in the sky and see that all the time.
Very true.
I
Yeah.
just,
Such a
I,
drummer
I,
answer.
no, I'm a simple. I just look up and like.
What
there it
about
is,
what
you
about
know?
the nighttime?
Exactly.
It's a dark blue.
You know it turns to like not
Green.
blue, dude. And so,
The
but,
sky is not green.
like growing up in Oregon, you're just always surrounded by green. It's like
Mm.
seeing the change. I mean, fall time comes around, it's yellow, it's red, and then there's nothing. It comes back. What's the first color you see when it comes back? It's green.
It's true.
Yes.
Very true.
Big purple guy.
Purple. Okay.
Big purple guy.
UP represent. Yeah.
Shots
Come on,
fired.
come on, Anchors, pilots. Come on.
I bleed purple.
I think not intentionally, but red.
Okay.
Fair.
If that makes sense.
Fair.
Calm down, man.
Did you say that was unintentional or intentional?
Unintentional.
What would be an intentional color?
Green.
Okay.
Yeah.